Hi, everyone. Welcome to Wine and Tarot. And look who's here tonight. I have the wonderful Kelly Burton with me, the creator behind this box of gorgeousness. And I'm so thrilled to have her here. We've been chit-chatting behind the scenes, and all of a sudden I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, we've only got 10 seconds to go. So we're going to try to read a lot of what we were talking about.
Yeah, we were getting carried away. This is going to be fun.
We were. Yeah. So first of all, I know that it's supposed to be wine and tarot. Neither one of us have wine tonight. What are you drinking?
Well, many drinks. I have tea in case I get tired. It's caffeinated tea. And I have a big old Colorado smokestack of water. And then I have my beverage of choice. Seltzer and cranberry. So I'm going to be very well hydrated tonight.
Good. I did this a couple weeks ago with wine and seltzer, but this is actually a little bit of vodka, some fruit, some lemonade, and a little bit of seltzer.
Looks fabulous. If you're going to drink something, make it delicious. That's what I say.
That is the truth. Let's see who we have here in the room. We have the lovely Sandra from the Whispering Well. Hello to you. And we have Nancy at Crohn's Intuition. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Robin. Toadstool Tarot. Oh, my gosh. My best friend in the whole wide world is here. Mary Harrison. I love you. I haven't seen you in forever. And I think I'm going to cry. God, I'm glad to see you here. It's so nice. We have Kristen and Patrice. Justin Michael is here. He says hello. So lots of people saying hello. And I do believe somebody's going to have to tell me because my chat runs slower. Hey, Naomi. Naomi's here. But thanks, Mare. I love you too. So lots of people in, and I'm really excited. So I don't know what to do first. Gosh, I have notes. I really do. Let's first talk about your tarot journey because I think it's really cool. So you grew up in Mexico.
For a while, yeah. I was born on an Air Force base, actually. And my father was killed in action. He was an astronaut trainee, and we moved to Mexico. And so I was basically this feral child with a horse, and there were no cars, no TV. We had comic books. We had like Archie and Mad Magazine from the 70s, and no phone or anything like that. So we really did a lot of cool things, mostly artistic projects, outdoor things, riding horses, that kind of stuff. And a lot of things that little children shouldn't be doing. But yeah, so Mexico was fun. And then we moved to California after that. And I got my first deck from my mom. My mom gave me my deck when I was 17. She had gone to a psychic, and the psychic said that I could interpret dreams and that I was psychic. And so she didn't know anything. So she went to the Magic Eye, which is in Los Angeles, and she got me a tarot deck. To this day, I forget my dreams, but the tarot just really stuck with me. So that's so 40 years.
And we were talking that I didn't even know that tarot existed until I was in my 40s. And you and I grew up at almost the same time. So you had a really cool mom. I became a cool mom because I gave my two daughters tarot decks. But yeah, so you started so you're a lifelong studier of tarot.
Yeah, I put it down a lot. Like I remember in college, it was a party game. It wasn't serious in college. And then I put it away when I was early in my career for a while. But I still have the same original decks and the same original book and the little notebook from the lady I learned from, a psychic who took me through it. And I have that notebook that I wrote.
And
But
I read somewhere that your tarot deck you wrapped your tarot deck in your dad's handkerchief.
yeah, because that used to be what you would do. Like there's a method that I follow, like the way I shuffle from the unconscious to the conscious, and the way I handle the deck. And it was supposed to be gifted. Mine just serendipitously was, because my mom gave it to me. And you were supposed to wrap it in silk, and I could only find a handkerchief from my dad, so and now that's really special because my dad's passed on, and I still have his handkerchief, so wrapped with my deck wrapped in it.
That's something that we have in common, because I wrapped my first deck in a scarf that was my mom's. My mom had passed on. Not real sure that she would have been thrilled that I was reading tarot, but I think she would have warmed up to it. So that's how I like to think of it anyway. But yeah, I kept my deck wrapped in her scarf for a long, long time. So what, so you, I'm sure I think I read that you had a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, but this deck has, it seems like there's all three traditions wrapped in to Journey of the Sacred Bee. Like I see some Marseille in there. I see lots of RWS, and somebody said that it was a Thoth-based deck, and I just didn't believe it for a while. I was in denial, but apparently there's Thoth-based components of the deck as well. So do you read with all three in all three traditions, or do you have one that you more gravitate to?
I read all three. Because it's just been such a long journey. But what's my immediate understanding is like, I'll do the RWS, because that's just, I understand that the most. My two decks were RWS, and then I had the Crowley deck, because those were the only two I even knew about. So I did have those two, but I never read with the Thoth deck until I was an adult, or I guess I was until my later, about maybe 15 years ago. I had the deck, and I would just pull a card or something like that, but I didn't get serious into studying it. But it took me deeper into my tarot journey, but there were certain things that I didn't resonate, and this was my opportunity to put them together. So it's not a Thoth deck, and it's not an RWS deck, and not Marseille, but I'm the creator, so I got to do it, and it felt right to. So for example, the Strength and the Libra card are not, they are switched like Waite did, right? They're not back. And the reason I did that for the reason that I like the way that sequence fits astrologically. It makes sense. Yeah. And but Crowley had it as a Mobius, which is way too deep for me to understand. And so I didn't want to go that deep. So it just made sense for me to do it that way. So all three.
Jonathan Daly's here. He lives in Maui, and he says, Kelly Burton and I have similar backgrounds. I was born in Mexico, a feral child in the Costa Rican jungles, and lived in California as well. And now he's in Maui. We've had some more people in the chat, so hello. Okay. Hi. And Toadstool Tarot, Robin asks, where do bees come into your history? So how did the bees make it into this deck? So I guess now we're going to get into the story of the deck.
I know, the deck. So I don't know, really. And this is going to sound really out there, but I'm a graphic artist. I was drawing, and I like sacred geometry, and I was sketching a bee, and then this is on my website too, so I'm repeating myself probably, but because it's this real story, and I just saw the connection of the anatomical perfection as it sat into Metatron's cube, and then I started to think about, oh my God, Da Vinci, Vitruvian Man, and all that stuff, and it just started to flow. And I've been a graphic designer for 35 years and a tarot reader for 40. And I never put the two together until 2019. And it just hit me, and I did a card, and And I feel like all of a sudden the bees were everywhere, and I started studying about bees. So I didn't have a bee history other than keeping a bee garden and bee motels and creating environments for bees. And always, I'm a bee watcher. There's 20,000 species. I think they're the most amazing thing. And I was aware of their importance and their plight in the colony collapse and all that syndrome. And so I all of a sudden I had this mission driven intention to give back to the bees. And honestly, I feel like they connected me. And I feel like I was a channel that they could use me to get this out into the tarot community. I know there's other bee decks out there, but I didn't have the intention, and I never wanted to do a tarot deck until that happened. And so I feel it's kind of magical. I think it has some significance, although I don't know the depth of it or the truth of it actually. But it's a good story, and it did happen. And with the success of that first Kickstarter and the selling out of that deck, I was able to contribute to the education of bees through the Bee Conservancy. And that's really special, as a hobby, kind of a second job. It's fun.
Yeah. That was really special for me, purchasing the deck, knowing that part of that money was going to the Bee Conservancy. I am not a bee person per se. I understand the plight of the bees, and I'm very conscious of, where I buy my honey from. I have a flower garden that attracts bees, but I wasn't anybody that studied a whole lot about bees until I got this deck. And I bought the deck originally. You kind of had me at the cover, at the box. But then I saw some of the drawings, some of the artwork, and the colors in this deck are just, they're just fabulous. And so, I got it. And it came to me, I think I got it in October. And as many people in the chat know, and I just told you a little while ago, I didn't open it for a while. I have to be ready. So it kind of hung around for a while. And I opened it in December and looked through it. And I was, I was mesmerized. I was, I don't know, a little bit intimidated because of the, the signs and the sacred geometry and the astrology, all of these things in this beautiful, beautiful deck. These are some of my favorite cards. But I thought, okay, in January, I'm going to really, really start working with this deck. It became my favorite deck of 2020. I have not been able to put it down since I started working with it. I've had other decks come into my house, and I pick them up and I look at them and they're beautiful, but I always come back to this deck. Look at the edging. Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful. And the way it shuffles and feels in my hand. Oh, the way it sounds, it puts everything. And I really believe that, my soul deck was the Druidcraft Tarot for the longest time, but I really believe that this deck is my soul deck. I can't thank you enough for contributing this to our community, because it's just a really special deck. So thank you. That was my fan.
I'm surprised, I'm shocked. And I attribute that to the magic that I think, it came through, because I don't think it's me. But yeah, the gilding is really good, you guys. I've been using this deck every day for, no, I'm talking about the quality of it, that it's, this one is well used. And it's holding up, and I'm thrilled about that. there's always some manufacturer boo-boos. And so there were a few decks that were messed up, and, you just get a new one.
Well,
But
yeah, mine's
pretty
being
good.
used every day as well. And you can tell the quality of the gilding because when this deck came out of the box, there was no sticking. It didn't stick at all.
Yeah.
The cardstock quality is just beautiful. So what I love about this deck is that it is so layered, and we talked a little bit before we came on that that a lot of people thought that it was going to be a cute little deck about bees,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so much more than that. So much more. And then let's talk a little bit about the journal, because this and I have my copy here that you so graciously sent to me. But so the Sacred Bee Journal is, I mean, it's like having another tarot book in your hands, and it is the journey. And there are okay, so this is the moon. There's a huge write-up about the moon, different from what's in the white book. And then there are big places for you to write. There's a spread here, and this is on every page for the majors. And then and it's all in color. I mean, it's just beautifully done. Beautifully done. Are you going to have one for the Oracle deck as well?
I am, and it was it's a stretch goal that we met, because I had anticipated doing it, but because we funded so quickly, I decided to release the digital version to all backers. And I haven't even started it yet. But I have time. The time will be when it's being produced and manufactured, and then I'll have the time to put it together. So I absolutely want to do that. Some people, the digital version of the one you're holding is available now too. And that's really helpful because shipping is expensive overseas, and digital is a quick way to get it. But then there's that tangible need to journal, and that's what that is supposed to do. It's you explore each card, do a spread, and really write about it. Put your own keywords, make it your own deck and your own journey, because that's the tarot should be a journey that lasts and is exciting enough and interesting enough, and with enough wisdom that it should last you your whole life. You will never stop learning. And so you should keep journal. I mean, I'm a big proponent of journaling too. I just think that it's the best.
I journal every day. I journal every day, every morning. It's one of the first things I do in the morning. I get up, I make my coffee, and then I sit down with this deck and my journal, and I pull a card and I journal about it. But I was looking through the cards again as I was sitting here before, and I thought, it's interesting because I believe that the messages that you're supposed to receive from tarot are the messages that you get. So some of the cards in this deck, I've been working with it since December, and I haven't pulled them. Like, I haven't pulled all the cards because I get a lot of the same card that will come up, or the same type of message that will come up again and again and again. But I want to talk to you about the process of making this deck, because once you got going with this deck, it was done in 30 days, right?
Yeah, it was.
That's crazy.
Both decks were, just like I said, it just after I did that journey card, I had this decision. I was like, but it's not going to be the Fool. It's going to be the Journey. And then it just flowed. Yeah. Because I know what every card means, and I know what the assigned planetary and zodiacal attributes are. I know what they're called from the Golden Dawn, and what they mean in RWS, Thoth, and Mersai, which I'm not as well versed in, but you can't be good at everything. And so I knew what they should be, and I picked a lot of the symbolism so that they would be hidden and that it would give you clues, and that you would pick up on what you needed to pick up that day, because, you know, there's 25 meanings. You only need that one for that day. And it's amazing that you will hone in on different things on different days. And everybody here probably reads tarot, and that's how it works. You know, you're like, oh, that jewel, that one jewel on the crown, you know, and you're like, I never saw that before. And that's what you need to journal about. So,
yes.
yeah.
Yes. So for those of you who missed out on this little box of wonderful, there is going to be a second edition, right? Coming out in June?
No, it'll be, I'm going to have it shipped at the same time as the Oracle that's on Kickstarter now, because it's easier to ship 3,000 pounds together and have those pallets delivered together than to like try and navigate separate shipments. So, yeah.
So they'll all come together.
Yeah, October is, I think.
Did you say October?
Yeah, the latest I'm anticipating. That's what I put on the Kickstarter because, like I said, this deck went to press on March 10th of 2020, and then the whole world shut down on the 14th. And it just started to escalate at that point. So it made it through, but there were delays, and
on a boat, it made it through. Right? Yeah. It came on a ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have to remember what's going on in the Suez Canal. So, those things happen too, right?
Yeah. It didn't come that way, but that's the example of like anything could happen. I think at the time they weren't, they were, since production of manufacturing of everything, I think, was slowed down. I think that, there were only half the people working in the world. And so because of they had to be separated and places were closed down, and they needed to have enough cargo in order to make that ship run. I'm pretty sure those were the delays. Everything was delayed because there weren't as many people on the workforce. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
We have a question for Kristen Louise Tarot. She wants to know, did Kelly use Photoshop or Illustrator? What did you use to create?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm a graphic design. I'm a marketing artist, and I've been doing that for about 40 years. Working, I remember I got my first Mac, the very first Mac that came out. And so I've been working on that. I used to teach Photoshop and Illustrator. And yeah, so absolutely. You know what you're looking at. So.
Oh, Emily's Tarot Magic says, I'm definitely checking out the second edition, and you should. Very definitely. Hey, Chris Kelly. Thank you for being here. If anybody has questions, just put them in all caps, and I'll really try to pick them up.
You can get on the Kickstarter for the Oracle that's on there right now. I mean, yeah, this is kind of a plug, but it's trying to be helpful too.
That's what you're doing. Plug away.
The Kickstarter has 7 more days, and it's the new Oracle. So it's the Wisdom of the Sacred Bee, and it's a 68 card deck. But you can order as an add-on the second edition of the deck, and it's discounted. So I mean, you'll get a better deal. And those are going to be the first ones that ship too. So, you'll be one of the first to get that second edition. And it's not going to look any different, except there's a couple of changes on the cards. 2 cards are changed. It'll be the same size so that both decks will look good on the bookcase together. So, how, I'm just going to tell on myself, how people always show their collections? You're looking on Facebook and everything, and they show how nicely they are. I mean, I'm always like, is my deck there? I'm like, let me see if my deck is there, because I'm still just this little kid, amazed that people would actually buy my deck. So
I'll take a picture for you with my 2 decks. because I was telling Kelly that, and many of you do know that I collect to leave a legacy for my daughters. Both of my daughters read. They're both now in a stage where they're not reading so much. I have a daughter in graduate school and a daughter that's getting her bachelor's degree who also has 4 children. But this was a deck that I thought I need one for both of them. So there's 2, and yeah, there'll be 2 oracles too, I'm sure.
Everybody
It's just,
needs.
yeah. Oh, integrative healing with Sedana asks, when did Kelly's tarot journey begin? We talked about that a little bit in the beginning, but do you just want to go over it just a little bit for the people that came in late?
Yeah. I had a really cool mom, and she gave me my deck, in 1979. We were talking about that.
Yeah.
Tarot was kind of popular then, back in the 70s. And Mary Kay Greer was on the scene, and, Rachel Pollack. Those were the only 2 people I knew. So my mom gave me my deck. And I started, and it was still in high school. And so at lunch in the quad, we called it the quad, the big grass area in the middle in Los Angeles, I would read everybody, and they would be like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, but I think the coolest thing though is that your mom went to a psychic, and the psychic said that you had a gift, and that you'd be able to, and I think you do have a gift, and I think that gift not only helped you to create the deck, but probably makes you a really good reader too.
I don't know if I'm a good reader. It's just that I've been doing it for so long. So there's training, and then there's doing, and then there's like book education, and there's the experience of being confident to read. And it wasn't until I started reading professionally that I had the confidence to just open my mouth and just let whatever come out. That's the hardest part. When you're thinking about reading professionally, it's just to trust it. And even if you don't know what you're going to say, but it's going to come, and it will come, and you say the right thing, and you can just say thank you to whatever in the ether for having that come through you for this person. So
yeah, it's trusting yourself that you will have the right thing to say. Sandra at the Whispering Well says your deck is there on my shelf. And Hill Raven Tarot said they just showed a video about it with their deck haul. So there's a new video up on Tail Raven Tarot's channel that you could.
Thank you.
And I did. I don't do a lot of deck reviews, and the reason is because most people know this, so you're new here. I'm visually impaired, and so I can't see very well, and so I don't do a lot of deck reviews. But this one, I just really felt like I wanted to do it, and people really liked the way I did do it, so that it turned out really well. I think I sent it to you. I think I sent that deck to you.
And I was just, me, I'm all smitten, just like I cry. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, you guys. When I see something that somebody says something, it's just like ugly back here. I'm like,
it's like this labor of love that you had, even though it was only a 30-day labor to get it out. Though it really is this. I don't know. I can imagine that it's just like this cumulative experience that, every day you pour yourself into, and then to see it out there in the world, it is a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was at night too, because I have a job in corporate America, and so it was mostly nights and weekends, and it just flowed, and it was I loved every minute of it, And then learning how to produce a deck. I'm used to producing magazines and things like that, but not like a game. It's considered like a game the way the process of manufacturing it and getting it printed. I learned a lot, you know, and a lot of roadblocks and challenges, and you just kind of go, okay, it's all going to be okay. Just kind of roll through it. Yeah.
It's going to work out.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut.
Yeah. Do you want to tell people which cards are switched in case there's some people that have the first edition that are going to want to buy the second edition? Like I might buy another one just to have the cards switched.
Oh, they're not switched. The name is switched. So
yeah, the cards are the same. The names are different, right?
Right. I listen to people, and I'm really crazy. I usually answer emails like almost immediately. I'm just love the community, right? And especially I just want to talk to everybody. If you like, if you know the Golden Dawn, you'll know that there's the Lord of Material Success and then the Lord of Success. And somebody brought to my attention that they were named the same thing. One was success and one was material success. And I thought, we were talking about this earlier, I thought it was just a given because I didn't have anyone check it, right? Because nobody around me, my immediate circle doesn't know the tarot that well. And I was an unknown in the community and didn't have that many people to bounce it off of. So the 6 of discs was called success, and now it's going to be called altruism, which I had originally called it that, but I knew that it was something that it was my interpretation of the phrasing of like it's not called that in the Golden Dawn, right? So I switched it over so that it would be follow more you know, of a traditional path. And I should have left it the way it was. So that's called altruism. And then there's another card that you couldn't see the image, on the Queen of Swords. And I really wanted to brighten her up because the intention, and that was a printing, that's just a printing thing where she was just backed off, and that wasn't the intention for her. She's supposed to be, you know, front and center of the design, but because of the printing darkened it so much. So I just adjusted that. I would have, if I had received feedback that there was something, I would have changed probably more. Cause like I said, I'll listen. But people were happy with it. So, and I was going to change the size and do all these things. Cause you know, it's a big deck, but there's a reason for the size. And I'm like, you need to stick with the reason behind why you made the deck this size. And, cause it has to do with sacred geometry, y'all. And it has to do with the Fibonacci number and the golden ratio. And so don't change it. Because I have small hands too, you know, but I was taught to shuffle like this, that, you know what I mean, and throw them all around.
Yeah, but I appreciate larger cards because I can see them that much better. So there's that. And I think the size that they are is wonderful. And I just wanted to put that comment up that while we have been talking, Inquisitive Tarot went and backed it and added the second edition deck. So there you go.
Yay. There's lots of goodies too.
Yes, there are lots of goodies. I'm so excited. Naomi says that you have the look of Blondie.
Well, you know, Blondie and I are probably the same age, or you know.
The Artistry of Tarot, Mendy, came in late. She overslept. She took a nap, but she said that I think the Sacred Bee was her number one deck of the year too. We actually did a collab on our decks of the year, like the decks that we received, and I think that one came out well. And thank you, Chris Kelly. Jilly, you may not see well, but you're one of the most perceptive and intuitive people I know. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Oh goodness. Let's see. What else do we have? Ooh, and the cloth and the pin. Inquisitive Tarot says. So
the pin is going to be fun. The cloth
is the cloth.
Do you have a cloth?
Or are we buying that separately?
The what?
Is the cloth a stretch goal, or are we buying that separately?
It's an add-on, yeah.
Okay.
But I've been doing prototypes, and so I design the fabric, and then I have the turquoise one from the first deck, which is kind of nice. But I designed the fabric. This one's too dark, and then I have it screened, and so it's a watercolor, and then it's screened, and then I hand serge and stitch each one. So there's going to be a lot of these to make, and I hope for snowy, rainy days. I and I'll just sew them all for you guys. Yeah.
The pin is going to be beautiful as well. So you said that one is not the one, the color's too dark. So it's going to be lighter.
I keep buying samples. I'm like, this isn't good. This isn't good. It's going to be lighter. It has to show that it's hand painted, and this one just looks too muddy. And there's going to be this modeled look because it's painted, but it has to, look good. So.
You're a really special person. You want everything to be just so. I think most creators want it that way, but you really have just, I don't know, over delivered, I think, with this deck, and it's beautiful, and it's going to be something that I keep with me always. So it's wonderful.
Oh.
Do you want to do a spread? Did you bring a spread for us to do today?
Well, we were talking about doing one out of the book.
Yeah, do one. You want to pick one?
Sure. I do share a spread a month from the journal, so that if you don't have the means or cannot get the journal, you can get one of the pages that Jillian was talking about, and read about what she was talking about on the blog. So
yeah,
I do want things to be accessible, and that way I have some content.
I know this
content is hard, y'all. So I thought we are in right now. It's April 10th, and so we're in the last decan of Aries, right? So we can either do the Emperor or the Empress, the spread for the Hierophant as we go into Taurus. So I'll let you. One of those is fine.
What do
you like you like the Hierophant? That's one of your favorite cards, right?
That's one of my favorite cards. Yeah.
That Buddha is in my backyard. There's a story about that card, and I was sitting out there, and it was summer because the dragonfly really was on his head, and I ran to get my camera because you never have your phone at the right time, and it flew away. And I was like, and then it flew back and it landed, and I got the picture. So it's off of my phone, and it's my favorite picture. And I've carried that garden Buddha. That garden Buddha has moved with me. It's not a light thing to move with your stone Buddha.
I have a stone Buddha garden statue, but he's standing, and he got decapitated last year.
Oh, darn it.
I need a new one.
Darn it. Put the head in the ground and see if it grows. You never know.
There you go. All right.
So this spread is called Grounded, Connected, and Ready. And so each spread in the book has to do with the energy of that particular card. And so the Hierophant and Taurus is very grounded, earth sign grounding. And so you can use the spread with anything, but it's kind of the theme of it is with that card. So
Mendy, the Artistry of Tarot, says, I bought the Hierophant print from the website, and it's on her ancestor altar.
That is wonderful. I'm so happy.
All over the place here.
It's my favorite card, and to share it. That's why I have that one as a framed print, because that's the one that's my favorite. So how do we do this spread together?
Okay, so how we usually do it is we do it card by card. So we
Okay.
turn a card, you read the prompt, and then we turn a card over, and we kind of talk about what our cards are and what they mean. And then the people in the chat are sharing theirs, and I go over there and read some of theirs as well. So what's the first prompt?
Okay, so the first, and you have the spread, right? So, okay. I
don't have it in front of me though.
Oh, okay. Well, the first one is, this is a card at the bottom, because that's where we're going to start from the ground up, because it's a grounding reading. So it's what will help me stay grounded.
Ooh.
All right.
So you didn't shuffle yet?
I threw them all over the ground.
Okay. So
okay, just all right. So I'm just getting ready. All right. All right. My card is, I got the sun.
How nice is that?
It's nice. Is this backwards? I always wonder if they're backwards on.
Nope, I think you're good.
The sun card is an interesting card, and there's a Buddha story in this too. In some traditional decks, there's the twins in the sun. This one has the splitting. But if you look at the sun, there's a mandala shape, and if you guys have the deck, pull it out. What you're looking at here is the DNA crossing over and separating, and that's why there's those twins there. But if you were to look at the top of a Buddha's head, where the crown chakra opens up, that's what they have. They have this crown. So right here, you're looking at the very top of a Buddha, and then they have that little knob up here where the light. So that's what you're looking at. And so it's the light, it's the DNA, it's all of those things combined that make up the sun. And the sun is this glorious, it's a rebirth, right? It's a new beginning, a new start, but it's also a culmination, and it brings about that from a good ending comes this division and a new beginning. And so you've perpetuated the process when you get the sun.
That is fabulous. So mine is this is my favorite King of Swords card. This is the King of Swords. And so what came to me immediately was, what grounds me is what I know. What I know, my thought process, my intellect, that's what grounds me. I love this. Oh, gosh,
and that's my dad's card. And I told you my dad passed just before this, and we were like business partners. And when I get that card, it's very grounding to me.
And I have this little, I call this my best friend. It's a ruby, and it's a magnifier that helps me read like the font. But it also helps me to see like all the little detail in here. And every single time I look, I see something else. You just love it. Let's see what people got in the chat. Oh, the Artistry Tarot got the 9 of Wands, Persistence. That was my card today.
Really?
My card today. Let's see. I'm going to say that Toadstool Tarot probably got the Hanged Man, because he says that he's best grounded when he's standing on his head. Justin Michael, I don't know. Nancy, A Crone's Intuition, got the Queen of Cups. Diane with Thrush Cottage also got the Sun. V. Kestrel got the 10 of Swords, so that's a little challenging. What do you think of that, V. Kestrel?
You're definitely grounded.
Yeah, for sure. Sadhana got, oh my God, 7 Fire and Tarot of the 4 Elements is Kundalini rising through the chakras. Amazing card. So yeah, lots of different, I'm just going up a little bit. See what we got. Jonathan Daly got the water knight. Kristen Louise says tower, to be grounded. This is the textured tarot. The Tower of Babel, take with others who speak my language and uplift me spiritually. Okay. All right. What's the second one?
The second one is how can I calm my mind?
Ooh. All right. And what did you get for that one, Kelly?
I got the Queen of Wands. So how can I calm my mind? My mind is most calm when I'm in a creative endeavor and when I feel confident in being in my creative endeavor, right? So if I'm not feeling like the Queen of Wands, I feel anxious and everything like that. But when I'm sitting with that element of fire, passion, and creativity, the Queen of Wands is, of course, the water of fire, right? They can douse each other up, or they can, kind of get steamy, right? So, yeah. So that's what I got. What did you get?
All right, I got the Three of Discs. Look at the color in this card, people. It is fabulous, and the keyword here says effort, but I'm going to change it for myself. And I'm going to say diligence.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I'm a Zen Buddhist, and happen to be a Soto Zen priest. And so diligence is one of the paramitas that the actions that we work with. And diligence, to me, what's the prompt again? How do I
calm my mind?
Yeah, so meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And meditation takes diligence and it takes effort. So that's where I'm at with that. All right, now I'm going to scroll down and see what we've got here. Naomi says, Eight of Cups, move away from matters. Oh, I lost you, Naomi. I'm sorry. Matters of consequence. Justin, the seven of Pentacles. The boy is ready to chop off the head of the goose that laid the golden egg. Oh my. I'm not sure where that came from. Emily said this. She got the Six of Cups. So did Mendy. Pleasure. I can calm my mind with the expression of love and harmony. Yes. And Petro got the Two of Pentacles. So to me, that's always about balance. Mm-hmm. Toadstool Tarot got the Emperor, calming my mind by sitting still on a rock hard throne. It ain't comfortable, he says. Warrior, Seven of Wands, elemental cartomancy. Thank you guys for putting those out there. My mods are typing the prompts into. And don't forget, all Kelly's stuff is linked below. So the link to Kickstarter, the link to the website, everything's down there. So go, but not right now. Wait till after.
Let's do this reading. Yeah.
Yes. All right. What's next?
The next card is, where can I find the guidance to be more at peace?
Ooh, this is another one of my favorites. What did you get?
I got the Seven of Discs, which is patience. I feel that in this card, the bee is out of their element, and they're trying to climb up a cairn, which is a directional, a sign, an ancient sign or marker to take direction, and so real patience is everything. I'm impatient, and so for me to be more at peace, I just need to practice that patience, and that it takes so much patience and discipline to meditate. So
it does. So I got I think a great card for this. So I want to read the prompt again. It says, where can I find guidance to be more at peace? And I got the 10 of Cups.
Nice.
And so for me, it is in just knowing that I have everything I need, you know? It's that knowing that I am who I want to be in this moment, you know? I am who I am, and I have what I need. And I think that absolutely gives peace of mind for sure. Oops, let's see. We got Naomi got the Ace of Cups. Find the joy in my life, to find the joy in her life. Justin got Temperance. That's interesting. Oh, Tarot Token Witchery. Zane got Death. He says, interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, coming to terms with big change is a tough way to come to peace, you know, the tough one.
Zane is also a deck creator. He created his own deck called the Zany Tarot, which is fabulous as well.
Oh, I love you.
Oh, she loves you, Zane. We all love you. V. Castro says got the King of Discs.
Okay.
And Chris Elemental Cardamancy says, whoops, I lost you. Funny, both my peace cards here. Funny, both my peace cards have been the fire element, huh? Who was it that said something about peace and quiet always go hand in hand? Huh?
Yeah. If some people need to find their inner fire and what drives them to be at peace. You can't have a struggle to be fully at peace. So maybe.
And Zane just said, oh my gosh, thank you so much to you. All right. What is next?
Next is, so we've gone from the ground and then we had some pillars, and now we're up towards the middle top. And so it's, what will allow me to attract a new spiritual guide? These are you can really tell where my mind is at when I write these things, but to attract a new spiritual guide, I got the Magician.
I got the Hierophant.
Oh, oh my gosh, that's awesome. This is pretty magic.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, this is fun.
Okay. Let's see. Jonathan Daly got Earth 2, finding balance while in the midst of change is how I find peace. Okay. Knight of Cups, I'm going down. 5 of Wands, through witnessing strife, I think was what it said. Oh, Mendy got the Magician too. You guys are in sync. Zane feels famous. You are famous.
Very famous.
Yeah. All right. Okay. What do we have next? How many cards do you have?
The next, this is the 5th because it has to be 5, you know, okay. So because it's the 5th card, and it's my life path card as well. The Hierophant is my life path, my life lesson card. How can I best connect with Source and grow spiritually?
Okay.
So this is about the connection, and I got the Hierophant.
Wow.
I can't make this up, honestly. I'm a very honest reader.
Mine's a little on the weird side for me, I think. I got the King of Wands. I love this King of Wands.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that, Kelly?
Well, since it's a card that has the position of power and domain over their own kingdom, Maybe it's shifting the focus onto a different type of mentorship or complementary mentorship. And since it's a court card, it's really interesting. That would make me want to just dive into more and dig deep, because it kind of, sometimes it is the personification of the energy. And so I do believe it's a relationship with people. So there might be someone who pops up that will surprise you as a guide or a mentor or a collaborator, you know.
It's interesting that on either end, I got the King of Swords as my start and the King of Wands as my end.
That's very interesting. That's what I would, that's the type of spread that I would take a picture of and that I go back to or put in my spreadsheet.
So here's what we do. I have a group called Life Without Walls on Facebook. And what I would like your permission to do is to share that spread in that group. And then and then everybody in the chat takes a picture of their cards and we post them underneath.
Oh, so I am psychic. I have never known, I didn't know about your group.
You're psychic.
Okay.
Yep, you're psychic. Okay.
You can use this spread. If you need it electronically, I can send it to you too. So in any way.
Is it on the website?
What?
Is it on the website?
Not yet. It's because I've only done January, February, March. But I can I can send it to you. If I send you a PDF.
Yeah, that would be fabulous.
All right.
Thank you.
I want these. I want this stuff out there. I want to share it with everybody. So.
Oh, the Artistry of Tarot, Mendy got the King of Discs. So she also got a king. Emily's Tarot Magic got 3 of Swords. And Zane said he thinks his 5 of Swords is telling him to stop being petty. Straight up called out. Sometimes that happens. And Jonathan Daly got the Fire Princess for number 5. So this has been magic. Does anybody have any questions for Kelly before we go? We're at 55 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, stick them here quickly. Oh, Nancy Crone's intuition got the 8 of Cups. That's oh no, Zane, I didn't tell you to stop being pretty. No, keep being pretty. Petty was what I said. Oh my goodness. So what do you have any pictures from or anything that you can show us from the new deck before we go?
Yeah, I only have the 4 elements. I just finished the 5th element, and there's 3 bonus cards. And this is funny because I was going to add the deck of the element, the 5th element. And so I said, now it's going to be a 68 card deck. But it's not. That makes a 65 card deck. So you get 3 bonus cards because I said it. So I'm going to do a queen, a worker, and a drone. So it just magically worked out to be the family of honeybees. So that's what you get. So the backs, this is just I got a prototype because I wanted to check the colors, and I really, it's a good thing that I did because I want it to be just as bright. So it's going to have the purple back, and it'll be the same size as the other deck, and it'll have purple gilding. So really, and then it'll have the purple stamp on the back. And then the cards are just as colorful, but the bottoms are so each element has a different color swatch on the bottom. So this is a fire card. Okay. And then this one is called Sensuality. And so the hope is that when you're doing your tarot, that you can use this as I call it a bridge deck. You pull it and you tie it all in together. Or like I love journaling, so I think it's important to journal. The this is the mindfulness card, and so it's got the yellow, so it's air.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the passion card, which doesn't look like that anymore. I'm notorious for changing cards. This is a card that's called denial, where walking away from the withering rose and, you know, not helping it grow and everything. This is the card of ancestors. And this is a green bottom, so it's an earth card. And what didn't show up is there's a lemniscate in there because of the continuing perpetuation of ancestral the you know that we perpetuate in the condition. And then this is the decision card, so it has the pendulum with the bee and the compass. So it's the same vibe. It's the same thing. And I guess that's just because that's the way I draw. That's the way I do stuff. So that it's me. So you're gonna get, if you have the deck, you're gonna know what you're gonna get. But there's just more like information and more juiciness to journal with. So
everyone's saying thank you. Emily's Tarot Magic says thank you so much, Kelly. This was wonderful. Woodthrush Cottage says thank you, Kelly, for your generous spirit and kindness in responding to my emails. And Emily says thank you to me. Sparkling Sia says I can't see, looks amazing. Nancy Crone's Intuition says that this has been so much fun. So I'm just really excited. Hi, Liminal Art. I'm just so excited for what's coming for you. I'm so glad that the funding went well and that we've got all these stretch goals that we're meeting. I know it's going to be harder for you, but we're excited. And will you come back in the fall when the new deck comes out and talk about it with us?
If you'll have me. This has been so fun. This has been so fun. And
I would love to have you back. Anytime.
What a fun community here. I think you guys are awesome. The comments, I didn't have the comments on and I was missing out on so much good stuff. Now I have it on and this is fun. So I just want to thank you so much. We've been chatting for a few months, a little bit, like kind of planning and just not a lot, but just, it's already here.
It's been nice to finally connect and talk to you and just learn more about your journey. Everybody's journey into tarot. I don't know. We're so, and this is something about the bees too. Like we are just so connected. We're all interconnected. This is very, very Buddhist, very Zen, but we are. And I feel that connectedness with everybody in the community and with you as well. So it's been wonderful to have you. If you'll hang with me, thank you to everybody who turned out today. Thank you to all of you. You guys are fabulous as always. Mary Harrison, I love you. You are my best friend in the whole wide world. Thank you for being here. And I'll probably talk to you pretty soon after this. So take care, everyone. And I will see you. I won't see you next week. I have a week off. And then the following week, the 24th, we have Shuffle Tarot coming on, Nina from Shuffle Tarot. So take care, everybody. And I will see you in 2 weeks.